the 3 quarterback rule. Mike, do you want to explain to the audience what's going on here with this rule?
Definitely. I'm going to just kind of read this off. The NFL approved the third quarterback rule earlier this month, allowing teams to dress an emergency thrower that would not count against the 46-man game day roster. Such a quarterback would only be allowed to enter the game if the two above him were to leave the game due to injury.
Mhm.
That's it.
So the Kyle Shanahan rule, right?
Or the Brock Purdy or the Josh Johnson, whatever you want to call it.
I've heard people call it the Brock Purdy rule, and I'm like, it's not Brock Purdy's fault that Josh Johnson got hurt after Brock Purdy, exited the game.
Yeah, I think they're probably calling it the Brock Purdy rule because, last season Brock Purdy was the third quarterback. It's just interesting that it's a third quarterback and not maybe the fourth quarterback because I think some teams carry 3 quarterbacks like the Niners did. Or no, in the NFC Championship, did they only have Purdy and Johnson or did they have another guy?
NFC Championship, it was just Purdy
They
and
did?
Johnson.
Yeah, okay.
They used
Yeah.
to have another quarterback. I think his name was it was like Kurt something Burkhardt.
Burkhardt. Yeah.
I don't even remember the name.
Yeah.
But I think he ended up getting released, and yeah, I don't know. The Niners could have signed a guy like Cam Newton, or I don't even know who else was available who might have been like worthy of a start. But typically, like when you're down to your fifth string quarterback, it's like GG's, guys.
Yeah, exactly. I think the most interesting part about this rule change is that it doesn't affect the 53-man roster. I mean, maybe it does for a team that thinks we need to have that third quarterback, whereas before they'd say, just you have the 53-man roster, but then on game day you have a 46-man roster. That's why every game there's always inactives, no matter what. Sometimes those inactives are kind of questionable at times. Usually they're due to injury, but sometimes they're just healthy scratches, and you might question it. So with this, you can keep the third quarterback on your 53-man roster, but he won't affect your 46-man active roster on game day. So I think it's a positive rule change. I don't think it's good for the NFL when a team in the championship is out of quarterbacks in the third quarter. That's just tough to watch. But I can also see
Yeah.
the other side where it's like, some might find it as like, oh, just because something happened recently, now they're changing the rule.
Mm-hmm.
I get that, but it's not changing the rules so horribly that it's making a massive change. At least to me, it's not like they're adding an extra roster spot from 53 to 54. They're
Yeah,
just
no, I think they did. Sorry to cut you off.
yeah,
I think that they did a good job in. You said that it's only when the first 2 quarterbacks on the depth chart get injured, so you can't just carry another player, and then if your first 2 guys are just sucking,
yeah,
you're not just going to be able to replace them with the third guy. Or if it's garbage time, you're not getting that advantage of having a guy go out there while everyone else is, I guess, getting more wear and tear as the season goes on.
right.
So, I think it's a pretty good change. Apparently, the Lions were one of the teams that advocated for it. A lot of people associate this rule with the 49ers, and rightfully so. I think that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan in their postseason press conference, after they lost to the Eagles, I think that they said it would be a good thing for the league if this came back. But
Yeah, and I like that it's conditional. I like that it's not like you said, like you can't just throw in a quarterback whenever you want. Like it has to happen under certain conditions. So
yeah,
I think it's a good rule change.
yeah, but I mean, it's really unfortunate when that third string quarterback goes down. Then you're screwed.
Yeah, I mean, but either way, you get down to the third or fourth quarterback. Usually, it's not going to end up very good. Now, again, like I said in our first episode, yeah, the Niners had the fortune of having Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy be this sensation last season. Usually, whether it's a third string quarterback of however many years or a rookie, like they're not going to play like Brock Purdy.